Hey, what's up everybody? Nate here from Out of the Basement, bringing you a brand new video. Today we're doing something a little different. I thought that since pretty much over the summer I've gotten a lot of figures not on time and I didn't review them because I figured it was too late to give them a review, so we're doing a recent pickups video. And as you guys will see, we do have the Neca SDCC Superman and Batman in this video, so that means I will not be doing a full-length review for them. Basically, I shot a review and I just wasn't happy with the end product, so I ended up scrapping the whole thing, and I cannot for the life of me get their joints to loosen up as much as I would like. So I'm just going to be giving my thoughts on them, and that's pretty much what this video will be too, is giving my thoughts on these figures you see in front of you that I just felt like a full review would not be necessary for most of these. So let's go ahead and get started. Starting off with some Star Wars stuff, we'll start off here with the Imperial Patrol Trooper, which J-Rick actually got this for me for my birthday, and we do have a review of this figure on the channel, but I did not get to give my opinion on this figure, so I thought that I would share mine, and I personally think this figure is really awesome. Really do love the butterfly joints that the figure has, although they are pretty limited, but they are still there. The detail on his little blaster right there is also really nice too. I like the faint green of the visor. It's kind of hard to see on camera, but it is there. And the baton and everything, and really I just don't know what possessed Hasbro to make such great figures from Solo. I mean, I do like Solo as a movie, but it's just odd that the figures from Solo are so good. Almost every single one of them is an absolute banger, and the Imperial Patrol Trooper here is no exception. Moving on to some other Star Wars stuff, we've got the Target exclusive Solo Chewbacca here, which I picked up because they finally put these guys on clearance, and I wasn't initially going to pick him up. Did not want to pay full price because obviously the only thing that's different is the sash is a little bit different, and he comes with the goggles and a different blaster. Really nothing to ride home about the actual base body, but I do like the design of Chewbacca in Solo, and I like the goggle look, and this gun is also really awesome too. This is kind of a cool little neat feature here. The thingy right here actually slides on the gun. I don't know what to call that, but that's honestly kind of neat. And I did not know that that happened at first, but yeah, I mean, the Chewbacca figure's not great, but I like the look enough to pick this one up on clearance. So yeah, this Chewbacca figure, pretty good clearance item. Then we've also got some more newer Black Series figures like Ezra here. This is Ezra Bridger from Star Wars Rebels. Of course, I still haven't watched much of Rebels, but I got these figures kind of late, along with Chopper. I'll also be getting to Chopper in just a second. You can't see him because he's hidden behind Superman, but he's there. And this figure's all right. I think it could definitely have been better. It's pretty light on the accessories, and I believe the lightsaber is also a blaster to some degree, but you don't get the blaster version, or I don't at least think you can turn this into a blaster. I remember seeing something like that. And also, he does not have butterfly joints, which I thought was an odd choice, considering most Jedis at this point have the butterfly joints. So that kind of sucks, just because we're so used to it. Of course, he has the nice deep elbows, which is great. And the figure looks good. I wish we could have got those butterfly joints on the figure. I really do also like the face printing and the likeness for more of like a realistic look. Hasbro, let's get Zeb quickly now, please. And then, like I said, we'll take a look at Chopper, and he's all the way hidden back here. And here is Chopper, and of course everyone knows that it's pretty awesome that he comes with this stand. Definitely adds a little bit of dimension to the astromech droid. He does come with an alternate leg if you don't want to have him blasting off, but honestly, why wouldn't you want to have him in the blasting off effect? It looks so good. Like all the little arms that they included with Chopper that come out. Really great astromech. He's so tiny, but I just really like the way he looks, and of course coming with the action base is also super dope. So I really appreciate Hasbro's attempt at this figure. Of course, he's got really nice paint apps too, but of course at the end of the day he is just an astromech droid, so probably one of the better astromech droids of the Black Series, considering he actually, like, you know, has some stuff, these little extra arms, the blast piece, as opposed to most of them that are just barren wastelands if you're not R2-D2. So moving right along here, I picked this up during the Big Bad Toy Store summer sale. This is the Bandai Robot Spirits Saber Athena from Pacific Rim Uprising. Absolutely awful movie, but the mech designs were awesome. And I picked up Gypsy right when it came out, did a review of that. Of course, you can definitely check it out. It's an older video, but it's out there. And I ended up picking up the other two, Bracer Phoenix and something, the two shorter ones, and picked those up at GameStop on clearance, but I could never find Saber Athena on clearance. And this was my second favorite suit design from the movie behind Gypsy Avenger. Very cool design in my opinion. I like the slim, slender look, and the orange just is awesome. And it comes with a sword, and swords are dope, especially when you give them to your mechs. So Big Bad Toy Store summer sale had this discounted to a decent enough price that I thought I would jump in, and of course I really enjoy it. The Pacific Rim robot spirit stuff is so good, and I had higher hopes for the Gundam line, and the Gundam line's not bad, but it's definitely not as good as these Pacific Rim figures are. So despite the movie being terrible, these figures work great, and I definitely am happy to have the 4 core Jaegers from the movie with my other stuff from the original masterpiece film Pacific Rim. Saber Athena. Okay, and then as some of you know, we vaguely talked about it, but we went to Boston this year just for a little road trip to see a band. And there was definitely some figs out there in Boston. As most of you guys know, we talk about it pretty often. Our area is awful for Marvel Legends, Star Wars Black Series, any Hasbro distributed stuff. Our area is usually terrible. Super hard to find anything. So when I was out in Boston, I actually found Lord Zed here. This is from the Hasbro Lightning collection at a comic book store for retail price, which was awesome. Super happy to have this figure. It looks great, although now of course his little effect there on the Z is falling off. Really good figure from Hasbro, honestly. The wash on the front of the figure, the back is a barren wasteland, of course. As you can see, there's zero paint, but on the front, stop moving around, doesn't want to cooperate, so I'll take it off. And then you can see the Z right there. The staff looks really good, comes with some nice accessories like a little hand grenade device. I don't remember exactly, and I really like the way these tubes are. Of course, I'm scared to death every time I pose him that the tubes are going to break off somehow, but so far they've been pretty sturdy, and the Hasbro Power Rangers stuff has just absolutely been fantastic. As you can see, the Shadow Ranger in the background there, which I'll get to in a second. But right now we're on our little Boston train here. So this is one of the figures I picked up in Boston. Super happy to have Lord Zed. Great looking figure, great articulation. Then, some of you longtime viewers are going to be like, what the fuck is this, Nate? And this is the Marvel Legends Beast, the brand new Hasbro one. Of course, we made a video a while back that was pretty popular about why we stopped collecting Marvel Legends. But recently, that was a while ago, and recently Hasbro's been killing the game with the 90s X-Men stuff, and that is my bread and butter. Of course, like most people, I grew up watching the animated series. So this was like the iconic Beast for me, and the figure just looked really awesome. The articulation is super good. He has tons of posability options, and it's a little difficult at first to really nail down the articulation of this figure, but once you get it going, I mean, I'm pretty satisfied with this pose right here. I think this is a pretty nice looking crouching actiony Beast pose, and the figure has toe articulation, which is something a little unique for Hasbro. They usually skimp out on that. So really surprisingly great figure. I haven't picked up any of the other X-Men Marvel Legends stuff like Gambit or anything recently, but I definitely am going to get that 3-pack of Cyclops, Jean Grey, and Wolverine. I just can't pass that up. But this figure is also really good, really nice articulation. Wish we could have gotten an alternate head that was more of a like relaxed face, maybe with the glasses on, like classic Beast. Because obviously, I mean, you know, he gets angry, but he's not usually angry like this all the time. So really like this Jim Lee animated series inspired Beast here. Great figure. And then, like I said, I just recently picked this up. Just got this the other day. If you follow us on Instagram, you saw my post about it, but I don't know anything about Power Rangers SPD at all. But this is the Shadow Ranger from Power Rangers SPD. It's like the dog. It's a dog alien thing. I have no idea what it really is. But I mean, I watched like a couple clips just to see what was what. And the Ranger scenes are pretty cool. And I like this design. It's very like Kamen Rider-esque. Reminds me of that sort of thing. And obviously like Super Sentai, Kamen Rider, all that stuff is similar to a degree. And Hasbro just kills it. I picked this up on Amazon. The reason I picked it up was because it was only $8. For whatever reason, for like 2 days, the Shadow Ranger and only the Shadow Ranger was severely discounted. And for $8, I said, what the hell? I've enjoyed Lord Zed and the White Ranger so far, and I have the rest of the Rangers on pre-order, or if I find them, you know, then I'll find them. But I have like the Mighty Morphin stuff on pre-order. And this figure is also great too. It's pretty much the same body as the White Ranger, so you've got all of that articulation to expect, but he just has a cool looking sort of like motorcycle police officer-y design, and this sword with this effect is also super dope. So yeah, I was really digging the Shadow Ranger here. And then let's talk about this Joker right here, which I know, hold on, let me get that brightness. It's a little bit better. You can see his face. This is the DC Multiverse from Mattel. This is a Mattel figure, folks. Premium collection, something like that, line of figures where most of them still look terrible, like the Val Kilmer Batman, Penguin. I forget who else came out in that line, but they all look pretty bad for the most part. But for whatever reason, I feel like this Heath Ledger Joker from The Dark Knight just looks pretty damn good. The face is a little derpy, and you can kind of see that, but it almost looks like, and apologies for the shadows here, but it almost looks like he's got some face printing going on the face, or I don't know if it's that's just an intentional paint design, because obviously in the movie, I don't know how far they went with the details for this, but you can see like a skin tone underneath the paint like in the movie, because obviously his face is just kind of lightly painted in The Dark Knight. But I think the figure looks really good, has shockingly good articulation, double elbows, rotation, normal action figure hips, not those weird hips that the DC Multiverse figures usually have, ankle pivot, just so many random things that Mattel never does for their figures, and obviously won't do anymore because they lost the DC license. But this is randomly a great figure, so I had to pick it up because I didn't have a Heath Ledger Joker. And just for a little comparison, because I'm sure someone is out there is curious, this is the NECA Batman Begins Batman, and you can see I don't think, I mean, Joker's a little small, but I don't think the scale is really that bad between those two. So I don't know if they ever made a 7-inch Dark Knight Batman. I don't believe so, but that's the NECA Batman Begins. Cracked out Batman, as I like to call him, because he looks like he just snorted a line and then he's going to fight crime. So yeah, this figure was randomly awesome. Just got this in the mail the other day from Big Bad Toy Store as well. One thing I don't like, though, is this big fucking hole in his pack it comes with a stand. But the figure stands fine, and how dynamic of a pose are you really trying to put Heath Ledger's Joker in? He doesn't really do anything crazy in the movie, so they gave him like this big action stand, and he just has this ugly-ass hole in his back. But from the front, looks pretty damn good. And then let's talk about Skull Knight here. This was awesome. This was an awesome find. So I was in Half Price Books, which if you guys don't know is like a used book media store. They also have action figures, records, all sorts of stuff. And I was perusing around, looking. I was with my cousin, hanging out at his house, and he turns around and he goes, "Dude." And I was like, "What?" And and he's holding this in his hand, and this is the Art of War from 2002. This is from Berserk, the anime slash manga. This is Skull Knight. Really awesome, cool, important character that I feel like gets put to the side a lot, especially in the adaptations. I'm pretty sure he's not even in the 97 anime at all, or maybe he is for just a little bit. I don't remember. It's been a minute since I've actually watched it all the way through, but I know they take him out of the ending during the eclipse scene. But no accessories with this guy, but if you've ever tried to collect any of the old Berserk figures, you know the prices are absolutely insane. So when I saw the price tag and it said $4.99, missing all of the accessories, I said, I don't care. Like, I will take the figure without the accessories for that little. It's so cheap. They had no idea what they had. When it rang up, it was just like generic knight. Like, they didn't even know what to call it, but I knew what it was, and the articulation is pretty much non-existent. It's that, and it's pretty ugly. That's like all you really get out of the figure. It's mostly a statue, but it was that cheap. There was no way in hell I was passing this up. So, really cool figure, really old figure. Glad to find it. And he looks pretty dope next to my Figma Guts, even though Skull Knight shouldn't be that big, but he's definitely, this figure is a lot bigger than Figma Guts. Okay, so finally, let's talk these figures, which I've posted on Instagram about. Like I said, I made a review but scrapped it because I felt like it just wasn't what I wanted it to be. And of course, say what up to Sam Raimi Neca bobblehead back there. I've had that since I was a kid, but just always kind of sits right there. So these figures, they look great. Absolutely wonderful. I posted about it on Instagram. I think this Superman is genuinely the best looking Superman, period, in terms of action figure form. The articulation for what I can get free is pretty good. For me, his ab crunch is completely frozen. This arm is completely frozen. And I've hit him with hot water and a hair dryer, and still it was just, I was getting a little too uncomfortable, and I don't want to break these at all because I'm sure replacements are going to be next to near impossible to get. So I want to be as gentle as I can, so I'm not trying to push it with these. So again, that's kind of why I canceled my review. I felt like I just couldn't do what I wanted to do in the video, so I'm just going to give my thoughts for him here. Of course, like I just said, Superman, fantastic looking. Love the I-beam effect. Love that it makes it look like it's impacting on something. Totally awesome. Love that figure so much. Love the way it looks. I have him on a flight stand normally posed, and he's just, you know, hitting the xenomorph with the radiation. And then Batman as well is a pretty solid figure. This one was a little bit less stiff for me, but still also has some pretty stiff parts to him, which I don't really want to mess with. You could just see, you can even just see I can barely move a lot of it, but still awesome looking figure. And I really do love the capes on these figures. They're really nice, soft, durable feeling cloth, and it looks really good too. And I just felt both of his leg pieces fall off. That's my major annoyance with this figure, is that these are separate leg pieces and they do not stay on. Of course I could glue them, but they do not stay on at all. They knock off super easy, so that is a really unfortunate bummer. But back to the cape. Love the way it's tucked in and everything, and the way it hangs and flows looks very natural. Love the cape. Most of the armor is removable too. I'm pretty sure you can also remove the chest piece. And also this is just kind of a loose floating piece. The visor doesn't really sit in there all that well, and he's already taken a couple tumbles from my shelf, and I've almost had heart attacks trying to find the loose leg pieces and the loose visor piece. The loose visor piece pretty much blends in with my carpet, so it's super hard to see. But overall, the armored Batman looks incredible, and the upcoming Batman without all the armor also looks like a masterpiece figure, which is mostly here. I would assume it's just gonna not have any of the armor, and you can even see like this is the crotch piece is a floating piece, and you can see the trunks underneath this. Superman, chill. All right, so you can see under there that that's just a floating piece, and I've seen pictures of the armor off, and there's no bat symbol underneath. It's just blank. And even like the neck piece is a floating piece. So most of this stuff will probably all come off. Obviously the boots from the shin down right here are unique to this figure, but it's mostly going to be this figure just without all the armor. And I'm fine with that. It looks great. This figure looks great. Love the armored Batman. If I had to make a mild gripe though, I would say that this Predator blood looks awful. This baseball bat in general, very generic, just boring wood brown, not even wood colored, which they do wood colored stuff. Like for the Jasons, you can see like something like this where it actually has like some detail and it's looks like an actual wood handle, whereas this looks like a toy baseball bat. But that's just a minor gripe. You don't even have to pose him with the baseball bat if you don't want to. So the Batman and Superman are awesome. And then finally, we'll just talk very briefly about the Xenomorph and the Predator. Not a whole lot going on with these two. Pretty paint by the numbers releases. The Predator I do like. I like this unique weapon that he has and how it's sort of a combination of the Jungle Hunter Predator and the City Hunter Predator, like his backpack, which I don't have on, but it has like the Predator 2 cannon on it. This shoulder pad is from Predator 2, and he has this smart disc holder right there as well, and you can just see that this little piece was added on over it as well. So it's kind of like a cool crossover with a unique like darker skinned paint app, and the helmet also looks really nice. I like the big yellow eyes in the actual helmet, which of course is Jungle Hunter style. So not really a whole lot crazy or different with this Predator, but it is a nice Predator, and I do like the combination of parts on it. And then same thing with the Xenomorph. I believe this is the AVP / Alien Resurrection Xenomorph, which seem to have great articulation. This one is super stiff. The Predator is honestly not stiff at all, and all of his articulation works great, which I was happy with. But this Xenomorph also has really stiff articulation, so I always got to be delicate with this one. And like his arm right here, this is completely frozen. And most of his joints on his legs are frozen as well. But he does look really awesome. I like the purple dome a whole lot. Hold on here. The purple dome looks really good, and he does have a purple grayish wash throughout the figure. It's kind of hard to see on camera, but it is there. You can definitely see it like in the spines right here. I like this Xenomorph design a lot, and the articulation seems pretty good, but the way the legs are designed as well, kind of have to use the tail to balance him. But it is accurate to the movies, so I can't really fault Neca for that because they're always striving for accuracy. So yeah, those are my thoughts on all of these figures, my recent pickups. What have you guys picked up recently? I'd love to hear from you. Well, this light has just been in the shot. Hopefully not for too long, but I just wanted to make a quick video showing all of the stuff I didn't get a chance to review, but I still wanted to talk about and give my opinion on. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like on it, share the video with your friends. Let's talk about some toys in the comments. Of course, subscribe if you are new. I'm Nate from Out of the Basement, and I will catch you guys later.